10 News begins with breaking news.
Iran is threatening to attack inside America if the U.S. retaliates following an airstrike on a base housing U.S. troops in Iraq. Good evening, I'm Kimberly Hunt.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. New developments are coming out of the Middle East by the minute after Iran launched missiles at least 2 Iraqi military bases where U.S. troops are housed. This has all been playing out all afternoon, and our Adam Rakusin is tracking the latest from the 10 News Live Center. Adam.
And we've got a lot to cover tonight, Steve. I want to start with this. We've heard about those threats, but Iran is also threatening to attack Dubai and Haifa if their country is bombed. At this point, the United States has given some hint that there will be some sort of a response, saying from the Pentagon, as we evaluate the situation and our response, but there's been no elaboration on what type to the extent that that will be. We were thinking that we were going to hear from the President Trump tonight about the situation that's happening in Iraq, but at this point we're being told that there will be no comment from the White House tonight. The president will not be addressing the nation. What we are seeing tonight is coming out of the FAA. And this is a statement that was posted 8 minutes ago saying that they have issued flight restrictions that prohibit U.S. civil aviation operators from operating in the airspace over Iraq, Iran, and the waters of the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman, saying the FAA is going to continue to closely monitor the events in the Middle East. Now, we want to show you what we're seeing tonight from the video that's going on right now. This is the video that you were seeing of those attacks a little bit earlier tonight, in the attacks into the area in Iran. What we know is that more than a dozen missiles were fired at U.S. military forces in Iraq. CNN is reporting that there are casualties, but there's no information on the extent of those casualties. The White House says the president has been briefed and is monitoring the situation closely. We've seen tweets from lawmakers, including Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, saying she's also closely monitoring this situation. We're getting updates every few minutes, and this is just coming into the 10 News Live Center right now. I want to show you this video as the attacks are going on and we're seeing those bombings in Iraq. I want to show you video of what's happening now of Soleimani. General Soleimani is being buried. This is the state funeral that we're seeing right now. You can see people going up and looking and trying to get view of this. It looks like they're paying their respects to General Soleimani. So all of this is happening right now. We're getting these updates out of the Middle East almost constantly right now with a lot of things going on. Again, missiles attacked U.S. air bases in Iraq. We'll continue to monitor this breaking news and give you any new updates.
Adam, thank you. And as Adam mentioned, we will continue to follow the very latest developments out of Iran and the Middle East. We will share the newest information on the air and directly to the 10 News app. You can find that app in the App Store and Google Play. And World News Tonight is staying on top of the very latest coming up out of Iraq and Iran. They will have live updates ahead at 6:30.
East County Congressman Duncan Hunter will officially resign on Monday. Hunter sent his resignation letter to Governor Newsom and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi today. This comes more than a month after the congressman pleaded guilty to a campaign finance charge, promising to leave his seat, quote, after the holidays. In his letter, Hunter said, in part, "It has been an honor to serve the people of California's 50th district, and I greatly appreciate the trust they have put in me over these last 11 years." Carl DeMaio, who is running to replace Hunter in Congress, almost immediately sent a statement to the governor asking him to call a special election rather than leave the seat vacant until November.
Right now, families are rallying to support an attempt to get more money to fund one of San Diego's biggest school districts. This will be Poway Unified's first try for a bond measure since the notorious billion-dollar bond a decade ago. New at 6, our 10 News reporter Jeff Lasky tracked down the superintendent to ask why taxpayers should trust that. This time will be different.
This used to be a classroom at Rancho Bernardo High School.
We've not been able to actually have full classes in these buildings over here on this side of the campus for about 2 years now.
Principal David Lamaster says it's now just a big storage closet. And this isn't the only one.
We have some portable classrooms right here that some in the past have been occupied, but we have been forced to shut them down because of just conditions deteriorating.
Sadly, conditions like this can be found across the Poway Unified School District. A recent study found that 63% of the campuses will be rated in poor condition by 2023.
We have leaky roofs, we have rusty pipes, we have tile that's falling apart. We have high schools that have sewage spilling up into the room.
That's why Superintendent Marion Kim Phelps hopes that this March, Poway Unified voters will pass a $448 million bond called Measure P. But there could be a big roadblock.
They have snowballed us.
The more I dug, the more
angry I got.
Those were some of the reactions 10 News got last time Poway Unified put up a bond measure. It's become known as the billion-dollar bond debacle. That's because the way the deal was financed, the $105 million loan will have $877 million in interest. Total cost, close to $1 billion, which taxpayers will be on the hook for decades. The district's new leadership says they understand why people have doubts, but also say the need is real and that this team won't make the same mistakes as the past.
As far as facility goes, what most people don't understand and realize is we don't receive any kind of funding from the state. And so we also are one of the lowest funded unified school districts in the county. So we do a lot with a lot less.
In Rancho Bernardo, Jeff Lasky, 10 News.
The measure will be on the March ballot for Poway and the northeastern part of San Diego.
There are new details about the high-speed chase that backed up traffic on the 5 freeway in La Jolla last week. Today, the driver faced a judge. 10 News reporter Rachel Bianco is live with the charges piling up against the veteran San Diego attorney. Rachel.
Kimberly, Nancy Sussman is no stranger to this courthouse. Usually she is here representing clients, but tonight she is defending herself against charges that could send her to prison. The sound of a police helicopter above the 5 on a busy Monday afternoon. Traffic backed up, drivers snapping this video of how the high-speed police chase ended. Police say the driver finally stopped when they laid down spike strips. We're learning new details about the woman behind the wheel of this white Mercedes. Her name is Nancy Sussman. She's a longtime medical malpractice attorney. She's done interviews with 10 News in the past.
Absolutely.
In court Tuesday, she's representing herself.
You're an attorney, ma'am?
I think that's one of the reasons I'm here, because I'm an attorney.
The judge entered a not guilty plea on Sussman's behalf. She's charged with felony evading, driving with a suspended license, and resisting arrest.
The pursuit went on to the 8 freeway as the defendant kept driving. Sometimes it speeds up to 80 miles an hour. Some officers claim it was up to 100 miles an hour.
Sussman tried to explain to the judge why she didn't stop.
Regarding the chase, I was a victim of police. I want to tell you police brutality on October 28th.
According to this police report, the October 28th case involves Sussman and her neighbor, a Border Patrol agent. In that case, she's charged with burglary, making criminal threats, vandalism, and other counts. On December 23rd, a judge ordered Sussman to stand trial on those charges, but the prosecutor says Sussman left before trial dates were set. An arrest warrant was issued. On December 30th, police tried pulling her over on that warrant. Now, if convicted on the charges connected to the chase, Sussman faces 6.5 years in prison. She's due back in court next month. Reporting live downtown, Rachel Bianco, 10 News.
Winds aren't as gusty today, but we are headed for a cool down.
Our meteorologist Angelica Campos is tracking those changes headed our way.
That's right, and as the winds have been weakening, the temperatures are dropping, although today was a pretty nice mild day around the county. Already dropping 15 degrees in Ramona, about 5 to 10 near the coastal areas at this hour. Not as much of a difference as we did see earlier this afternoon. You can see the winds are light and variable and now coming from all different directions, getting more of an onshore flow near the coast and a very, very light easterly pattern over the mountains. Right now, 53 degrees in Warner Springs, 60 in Carlsbad, and 61 in El Cajon. And the temperatures that you see right now are very similar to the daytime highs we're expecting for tomorrow. So the cool down is set to continue.
All right, Angelica, thank you. The man charged with a brutal and deadly attack with a frying pan more than a year ago has pleaded guilty. Brad Payton pleaded guilty to second-degree murder stemming from an attack at an independent living facility in El Cajon 2 Decembers ago. The attack left Matthew McCarthy dead. Investigators say the 2 men were arguing just before the attack. Payton will be sentenced in June. He faces 16 years to life in prison.
Border Patrol agents had to call in the San Diego Fire Department to help get 3 people down from the top of the border wall in Otay Mesa. Agents say they spotted the three Sunday night on top of the 30-foot high new section of the wall. It was foggy and the top of the wall was slippery with moisture. San Diego Fire came in with their ladder truck and safely got all three down. Border Patrol says all three are Mexican nationals who were trying to sneak into the U.S.
We are learning that the Alpha Project is coming through on its promise to cover funeral expenses for the security guard shot and killed near its downtown shelter last month. Ernie Buchanan worked at the East Village shelter and was on the clock when someone shot and killed him. To support the family, the Alpha Project said it would pay for his funeral. A viewing for Buchanan is scheduled for this Friday afternoon at the California Cremation in El Cajon. Police still have not found the person who killed Buchanan.